Hello, this sample is using the ticket stamps, stencils and masks. As you can see, we've got a variety of stamps here that have got like a circus, cinema, ticket type of feel. So we've got admit one, keep this ticket to redeem prizes, fun fair, one entry, amusements, circus, cinema, theatre. Then we've got, you can't see it very well, but tiny stamp which is really useful of 3 little stars, and then a little film reel, and then a barcode with its number, and they fit perfectly in these masks and stencils. So we're going to be using a bit of everything on this sample. We are going to be creating a scrapbook page. I'm quite new to this, so bear with me. So this is one of my first ones I've ever done. And this is just a scrapbook of where me and my husband like to go quite a lot, and that's to Chroma. But as you can see in this sample, we're using quite a lot from Mama Makes. We're using the geofloral papers, we're using some of the sprays, the tickets, the stamps, but also these are little tickets that I folded up, but a little pocket so you can put other tickets in there as well as little keepsakes. So I'll just pop that to one side. So the first thing we're going to do is, I always like to start with my photo. So this is a photograph of myself and my husband when we was on our honeymoon in Mexico. You probably can't see that very well. How's that? And I thought this would go well with the geofloral paper sets. So my theory is, obviously you've got, let me bring the paper in. So we've got some varying colours of blues on it, which obviously we have for the seas. I've used a deeper blue as a background frame, bringing out that blue in the boat. The pinky purpley as the photo looks of John's hat. And then obviously we've just got a bit of gold, which could be sand. So that is a photo that I'm going to be using for this page. And I've made a bit of a start with it, because I've obviously used a 12x12 sheet of blue cardstock. Then I've just trimmed down the geofloral to fit on it. I've been a bit thrifty because I plan to put this in a frame. So not something that I usually do, but I've gutted the back of the blue so I could use that then, because I only had one sheet of this. So then I could frame the photograph. And I've also just made a start with just putting honeymoon at the bottom there. Just put that to one side. So what I've done is I've used, which is what I'll do first, get the, so it's got time to dry. I've got a plain piece of white card and a couple of sheets of paper there for me to catch the spray so I can die cut. So Mama Makes has got these really nice mica mists, and there's a purple which I'm not using in this project, but there's a blue which is Midnight Sparkle, a green which is Perfect Peridot, and then Strawberry Blush. So I want to use the blue, so I'm just going to give that a shake. What I probably would do, if you've lost your top, put a cloth, this is clean, over it in case you get any leakages, which you shouldn't do. So I'm going to use this to cut out some letters to go on my little ticket holders, which is going to spell out Mexico, and which is what I've already done on the bottom that says honeymoon. So spray, it's a bit generous, spray the blue, and then I would probably let this dry, but as for quickness I won't, and plus you don't want to hear my loud heat tool. And then just a little bit of green, there we go, and then I would pop that to one side and let it dry. What we're also going to use that for is to cut out the ticket tags, which we're going to use as well. Pop that to one side, we use that for die cutting. So in that photo we obviously went on a boat trip, this jungle river safari with these crocodiles and everything. So obviously we had to buy tickets. So I thought, well, that's ideal because we've got these ticket masks. So what I've done is I've just drawn round these, and this one has actually got like a half circle, a hole sort of there, so you can, it's like a rip one, so you can perforate that so it looks like a proper rip ticket. So, and all I've done is, obviously I've used my spray background, I've turned it over, drawn around it in pencil, cut them out, and then you get those. So what I'm going to do is stamp on these. I'm going to use 2. So I'm going to use the barcode and the number in the little bit at the edge for the ripping. Not that we're going to rip it, but it's all, you'll see what I mean. So I've just put those on together, and I'm just going to stamp that. Please excuse the noise, it sounds like somebody just started to do some gardening in the house next door. Stamp that on there. Then what I'm going to do is just decide which of these. So I'm going to just use one entry, and that would be obviously the entry to the trip. So I'm going to do that on both tickets because obviously myself and John was there. There we go. So that's using some of the stamps that there'd be so much you can use those for, if you know, for children's cards, if you know, loads of things, if you're planning a party, so much scope to use. What I've done, as you will see, is I've already cut out some of the other stencil. Here we go. And that's got like a tab on each end. But what I've done, I've used it so it's like a little keepsake envelope. And I'll show you how I've done that. Just making sure I spell Mexico correctly, because that's where we were. So we've got this ticket, which I've just used some blue card, gone around with a pencil again and cut it out. Then using a scoreboard, I'll grab one. What I did is I scored, let me see that, I'm in the right place, yeah. Now I didn't want to do it halfway because I wouldn't fit the letters on. So I've just gone 1 3/4 of an inch. No, I didn't, bear with me, I'm telling you fibs. I went 2 inch, that's it. You can do any size you want really, it doesn't matter. And then fold that in half. I'm not using this one, so ignore the score line. So you've then got a pocket. All I did was pop some red tape, really fine red tape, and those edges, and then you've just got a little pocket there to pop a little ticket in of something for you to keep from your holiday. So what we're going to do now is just put this together. So I've already made a start. I've cut out, using the micas, Mexico, and stuck the letters, adhered the letters on to the tickets that I've made into envelopes. I'm just going to put that down this side on a jaunty angle. There we go. Also, using these is a really good way of using your scrap bits of card, because we're all guilty, we all keep them because we might just need them for something. So this is an ideal time to use those. Let's just push those up there a little bit. There we go. Then here's myself and hubby. So I'm just going to use some tape on this. Acid and ligament free, so we're all right. So I wanted to do something with the tickets that, you know, you can use as cards, but also just to show you don't have to be just for cards. And I think we can all get into a new hobby, especially at the moment, looking for things to do. And I thought, right, let's have a go at scrapbooking and see how we get on. So I'm just going to pop, because I've done these at a jaunty angle, I'm going to pop us on the boat in a jaunty angle. There we go. So we've got these tickets that obviously we used, that we had to get in to our trip of that day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these, I think, at each corner. I'm just going to use, here we go, a little bit of 3D glue because I like those, because I'm going to put this in a frame anyway, one of those deep frames, so I can have a bit of height to these. There we go. And then what I've done, put that to one side, grab a spare piece of paper. I've got some little MDF hearts. Now I'm one for gessoing everything, but with these I decided to not gesso. Well, I did one gesso and one not gesso, and I preferred the not gesso version. So all I'm going to do is spray quite heavily. Let that soak for a couple of minutes. And then that'll seep through a little bit, but you're going to still get your mica. Just move that off there. Then all I did, I'll let this take a bit longer on the other ones. I just turned it over. This is why I'm using it on a piece of paper, because we don't want to waste anything. And here's 3 others that I've already done. So when they're dry, you can see, but you can't see the shine on them, can you? Believe me, there's a bit of a sparkle going on there from the mica. So we'll pretend those 3 are dry as well, and we'll pop those on here. So I always do things in 3s. So I'm going to put some, whoops a daisy, good job it's dry as clear glue. Let's pop these on here. Just some love hearts, means it was me and my hubby. And a smaller one there. And then I'm just going to pop 3 more down here just to finish it off. As you can see, hopefully you can see how it dried quite pale, and I quite like that, how it just brought the pink into the, all ties it all up together. There we go. So that is our finished scrapbook page. That is going to go in a frame, and hopefully this has inspired you to get your photos out and try and create something quite similar. Like I say, what I've used is the geofloral papers from Mama Makes, the fabulous mica sprays, the stamps and the stencils. Thank you very much, hope you enjoyed it.